This video app review is brought to you by the iPhone appreview.com.
What's up, everybody? This is Luke Patrick with the iPhone appreview.com. Today we are slinging out yet another video review, this time taking a look at an application that's definitely in the nifty category of iPhone apps. It's called the Engine Tester, or as it's listed here on my springboard, just Engine Test. And it's definitely an app for the petrol heads, of which we are one. And it is, of course, as we mentioned, kind of cool. So we're going to go ahead and just sort of show you how this works. Essentially, you start out by entering the make and model of your car. So, for instance, I'm just going to do a Ford, a little bit of, well, if I can type Ford, that is. We'll skip caps because it's easier. Ford Mondeo, a little bit of UK carage there, since this app, I believe, is put out in the UK. It does list petrol and diesel, which are options that Americans tend to not have much of. We're going to say a 1999 Ford Mondeo. I don't know how many cylinders a Mondeo's got, but I'm just going to say 2 liters. Let's get 2 liters. Oh, what the hell? How about 1.6? There we go. We can set the fuel as most definitely petrol. Or actually, let's do petrol. That sounds good. Actually, never mind. It's got gasoline in here too, so we could do that if we wanted. But UK car petrol sounds good. That jungle juice that's served up in Europe and over in Britain. Really fun stuff, actually. So you do all of that, and then when you are ready to go, you simply hit the next button, and we'll explain how to actually line up your phone with the exhaust pipe. The idea here is that you point the microphone of your phone towards your exhaust pipe, and you let it sit there. You're supposed to be about 30 centimeters away, but in a direct line, so you may have to angle your phone a little bit. We tried this earlier on our Subaru, on my little, it's my baby, pretty much, my car. There you go. It also gives you some notes on if you continuously test negative, how to maybe tweak things and see if it works out better, but we had no problem with that. So there's that. With that in mind, we're going to go ahead and show you how the test works. And of course, I don't have a car in the dark room here to just put this up next to. Instead, I'm just going to talk. And I don't actually know if it's going to test positive or negative. We'll see. I'd assume it would test negative because it's sort of based on the decibels and the information you put in as far as your car goes. So it ought to test clear, it ought to test competently because of that. But we'll see what happens. Either way, I can show you how the test works. So there you go, it starts off, and then I simply keep talking, and it will sort of show you exactly how loud I'm talking, and doing the decibels and things of that sort, sort of listening to the engine. And of course, if anything sounds wrong, then it will say negative. Obviously, I just tested positive. This is probably because I wasn't talking loud enough to trip the decibel meter there. My basic understanding of how the app works is that if it's too loud or too jittery, so to speak, it will test negative, and it will list that here, which I've got a test result I can show you in just a second that does, in fact, have that. Under the Information tab, you can go in and quickly see just sort of some more bits about how the app works, which is quite nice. If you'd like to view your previous results, here are your cars. I've got my test, which I did earlier that did test negative. We were just screwing around with it. And then I've got another car, that would be my Ford Mondeo that I just tested. And then my very first car, this is the actual test that we did, my Subaru, came out fine. So it's quite nice. You can delete any of these on a whim, so let's delete those since they're not actual cars that I own. And then you've got a car checklist, which is nice too. You can go through and sort of tap the things that are good or bad, however you want to list it, and are working. So that's quite nice. Other than that, not much else to mention about the car tester other than we like the interface. It's very simple and we like that simplicity. We're not such fans of the price, which is $2.99, given that the application is not 100% accurate. It did just test my voice positive, which is not to say the app doesn't work, just that any good mechanic, and even the app's developers themselves, via this disclaimer at the bottom, do mention that it is not necessarily going to give you, rock solid advice. Just because it's an iPhone app, you are going to have to either poke your head under the bonnet or go see a mechanic. So with all of that in mind, we are still going to give it a 3.5 out of 5-star rating from us here at the iPhone appreview.com. And that is all we had to say about it. So I'm going to go ahead and sign out, but we will see you guys later. Bye.